If you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company and the services you provide.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tanya Millen. I am a support coordinator here in the Geelong region. I do work all the way through to Werribee. I'm a sole trader, and yeah, my business name is Breaking Down Barriers. I've been a support coordinator for, oh, I took a couple of years break, and was a disability practice leader in the middle. But overall, I've been doing support coordination probably 6 or so years with some specialist support coordination as well. So I'm well versed in NDIS and all things being in that space.
Great.
Hi,
That's awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So before working with Astalty, were some of the challenges or maybe some pain points your business had before working with us?
Yeah, so prior to working with Astalty, while I was building my business, I was doing things manually. So I was doing my notes manually, my invoicing manually, and it was just very difficult, very time consuming, trying to stay on top of the expenditure of the plan and expenditure of support coordination and being on point with my billing was really difficult. Um, I also, like, prior to moving out into my own business, I worked for a big organization where we used a program which wasn't necessarily designed for support coordination. It was support coordination was attached to the program, and then we had to build different documents on the outside of that program where we had to input all of our data into it to really understand our KPIs, if we're meeting our KPIs, if we're meeting our billables, where we were around expenditure and plans. And yeah, so um, there was a lot of time spent building that type of report to be on top of all of that type of, the business side of being a support coordinator. Um, yeah, so so those were I had two different experiences leading up to moving across to Astalty.
Yeah, right. It sounds like a lot of time spent creating those documents, creating your notes in
Yeah,
different softwares. It's going back and
yeah,
forth,
absolutely.
double handling.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah, and um, while you've got a few clients, you can do that. But the time that was taken, especially like handwriting an invoice, like doing that, that took a lot of time. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially towards the end. Yeah,
I'd
before
imagine.
moving across. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in that vein of conversation, what made you choose Astalti over other options?
I met with quite a few providers. I watched their videos. I had good conversations with them. I knew what I was looking for around what I needed as a support coordinator, what I needed to be on top of, what I needed to be aware of. And I felt Astolti was intuitive. It really sits alongside and understands the role of support coordinator really well. um, as an example, the way it builds your tasks and then the things you've done under your task and then you build to your task. That is a really quick example. I completed a trial with Astolti, and I felt that that was a wonderful way to really understand, did the program offer what it said it offered? Um, I find Astolti very easy to use. I don't have any issues with um, building new clients into it, building new plans into it, my billing, my pricing. Um, and for me, its integration with Xero is also one of the key reasons why I chose Astolti. So for me, um, uh, my billing talks to Xero, Xero talks to my bank talks to Xero, Xero talks to Astolti. So it's really just seamless now, and it's amazing and so much. Oh my goodness, my time is used doing much better things than trying to work through my invoicing and my billing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like that the problems you were having previously, where your time is being spent going back and forth between different softwares, is now essentially being solved in Astolti. You less double handling of things. Your some of your workflows have been automated through the Xero integration.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, Sounds like, yeah, you've gained a lot of time back, which is why we really wanted to develop Astalty, was to give that time back to the coordinators. So it's great to hear that that is happening, and that is why you um, wanted to go with Astalty.
I also think, different businesses run different billing models. So some businesses run a 6 minute billing model for support coordination, some businesses run a 15. And the fact that you can pick that in Astalty and it just sets it up in the background, the way in which it has like team leader privileges to look at different other things, like it's really built for what we do. And I think that, you can't undersell that. It's, it's amazing.
Great, yeah, it's really great to hear. We really love hearing that feedback. So, what are some specific results or improvements that you've seen since working with Astalty?
For myself, for my business, I've been on top of my KPI. I've been on top of my billing hours, where I'm at with expenditure for my plans a lot more concisely. I've certainly had plans where I've needed to do some more regular billing to demonstrate to NDIS around where we're at with support coordination funding, and Astalty allows you to do that as often as you need. So my billing, it's gone down to, less than half an hour. Like 1 week, it was like 10 minutes. It was amazing. I also find, Astalty has an amazing support system. So they have a weekly group that you can attend where you can ask questions. They have, a Facebook page, and you can type in some questions, and the group, other Astalty users talk to you, as well as people who are employed by Astalty directly, and you just work through any of your issues. They've got amazing training videos that you can watch. Like, it's all built to help you. And then if you have suggestions, or you're like, oh, can we have a look at this? Is this something Astalty is looking at in the future as an improvement? They're open to all of that. They're open to those ideas. And for me, like, we've had price guide change come through, and Astalty just did an automatic update. That was amazing in itself. And they're continuously improving Astalty too. So we've got a new calendar feature. So they're open to really making it business smart for you as a business. Yeah.
So, going on from that, what would you say to other founders who are considering working with Astalty?
I would definitely give it a try. The
Mm.
trial is free, and I can't remember how long it is, on the trial, but I
2 weeks.
knew 2 weeks. Yeah, I found that was long enough. I've just embedded one client into it and started to use it like I would my day to day, started to understand it, get my head around it, and it was lovely. And I think when I think back to the example I spoke to earlier around the previous organization and all of that work we did to try and understand the business side of support coordination, all of that's built in. So they have multiple reports that you can run that allows you to be on top of the business side of your organization as well. So I've just been through like my tax for my first time, and it just ran some reports that just really spoke to what I needed for all of that as well.